Okay.
Ang sagot nga dyan ng mga government officials natin and the proponents in the Senate, who include significantly si Minority Leader Franklin Drilon, he voted for that. Meron daw presumption of regularity dapat. Saka yun nga daw yung definition of a terrorist, kailangan i-clear. And even the warrantless arrests that are approved by the ATC, i-clear daw sa afterwards, although afterwards nga, with the Court of Appeals and alerted sa Commission on Human Rights. So ang sinasabi ng mga kapareho nila, Secretary Lorenzana, in so many words, it boils down to trust your government. Can you actually bring the debate to yun na nga, na it's a matter of lack of trust in this government? Attorney Tanyada, siguro.
Well, we contest that, no. Actually, with due respect to those people who say na may presumption of
Nawala. Maybe Attorney Tanyada siguro medyo nawala.
Yes, of course, that would be always the argument. But the fear here is that the specter of the sword hanging over your head, that now you're not sure on whatever you say will get you arrested or get you detained by the authorities is what bothers the advocates, dahil maliwanag naman sa Anti-Terror Act na yung kapag magdesisyon ang Anti-Terrorism Council, ang gagawin lang naman nila is to just inform the court na meron silang hinuli. Hindi magkakaroon ng proceedings para malaman kung yung tao ay terorista o hindi. Just to inform. So walang sinasabi na kailangan idinig natin kung siya'y terorista o hindi. At ito ay pwedeng humaba ng 24 na araw. At yan ang nakakatakot dito. Yung sinasabi naman yung pagpunta sa Court of Appeals, yan po ay preliminary lang. It is just a preliminary determination, but still, at the end of the day, the 24 days that a person can be detained is very crucial, and that itself is a violation of the Constitution.
But Attorney Tanyada, maybe to rephrase yung tanong ni Ami, because the question of trust is an important thing. Is it about trust or distrust of this particular government? Are you saying that the law itself cannot be trusted with any administration?
Well, first of all, I would say that the law is a violation of the Constitution. And if they wanted to come out, we're not saying that we don't need an anti-terror law. If they wanted to come out with a clear-cut, constitutionally viable terror law, they should have not rushed the process also with the House of Representatives, where there were people who wanted to amend the version that the committee came out with, but were told that they would just adopt the Senate version. So this alone would show that how can we trust the government if the process itself in the House does not allow amendments to correct maybe mistakes in the version of the Senate?
Well, speaking of mistakes, kung hindi naman daw trust in government, pwede daw naman yung as a deterrent, yung provision doon for wrongful arrest, pwedeng makulong yung police kapag hinuli at subsequently na-clear yung mali pala. He can go to jail for up to 10 years. Although wala na yung fine na 500,000, saka nabawasan from 12 to 10, nandun pa rin yun. At sinasabi nila, syempre mag-iingat pa rin yung mga police. What policeman wants to go to prison for 10 years for, presuming regularity nga in doing their job, for doing their job. So hindi ba kayo reassured nun? I'm just telling you the arguments of those who are pushing for this.
Yes.
We don't feel reassured at all. We don't feel reassured at all, no. Actually, I just wanna say na it's not true that there's presumption of regularity when it comes to arrests. In fact, the burden of proving that the arrest was legitimate and there was an actual crime committed, that the crime was actually committed, is the state. So hindi pwede yung nag-aresto sila tapos presume regular. No, the burden is on them actually to prove that that there is a crime that was committed. So when it comes to actually taking a look at the Bill of Rights and yung mga fundamental protection natin, that actually operates under a system wherein we distrust the government because the government, based on history, has actually done a lot of excesses in dealing with citizens. So yun dapat ang perspective na tingnan natin when it comes to Bill of Rights. It's construed strictly against the government.
Attorney, several members of the cabinet have been pretty consistent when it comes to, well, specifically mga members ng NTF-LCAC, yung End Local Communist Insurgency. They've been pretty consistent in tagging certain members of the left, certain groups of the left, as being allied or affiliated or being simply connected with the CP, NPA, and DF. I'm wondering how we should situate these groups now that the Anti-Terror Act is really a law, and the Anti-Terror Council can easily just tag them or designate them as terror groups. So ano ngayon ang kalagayan ng mga grupong ito na dati nang tinatag ng gobyerno?
For my clients, no, I'm representing the youth petitioners. So a lot of my clients have already been red tagged before just because they've expressed their dissent. Ang nakakatakot po dyan is even the National Security Advisor himself said that kung tahimik ka naman, wala kang problema. Let's remember that the National Security Advisor is actually a member of the Anti-Terrorism Council based on the Anti-Terror Act of 2020. So if a member is already saying na kung tahimik ka, wala kang problema, it means that the problem is not really just committing terrorist activities, but actually the problem is the fact that you are speaking out against the government. That's our problem. And that came from a member of the ATC. So if we're talking about presumption of regularity, the declarations of the National Security Advisor is presumed to be regular. So yun ba ang aim ng law? Yun yung nakakatakot siya.
Pwede siyang makulong up to 10 years.
Sorry.
Wrongful detention. Hindi po kayo nare-reassure ng provision na yan. Pwede
Hindi
siyang
po kami reassure ng provision po. Dito po meron po kami isang kaso diyan na makasama ko mga abogado. Ito po yung kaso na for 18 years nandiyan na, no, na walang conviction kahit isa. Doon sa kaso na yon, 41 ang nasa on record yan, court record yan. 41 ang mistaken identity. For
Attorney, gusto ko lang Attorney, gusto ko lang sundan yung punto nyo kanina about maraming mga tao nakakulong na on mistaken identity. You've mentioned a lot of the provisions that the other petitioners have also mentioned in general, basically the same concerns. But I'm curious, lalong-lalo na po sa background nyo as a lawyer from the Bangsamoro region, and you also mentioned this in your petition, the dangers of prejudice and stereotyping. Can you speak to particularly the interest and the vulnerability of our Muslim communities when it comes to the realities of facing anti-terror laws in the Philippines?
very real po ito kasi nung January 31 ay nag-issue ng memorandum yung NCR po natin na i-profile yung mga high school at saka college na mga Muslim na nag-aral dito sa NCR. Tapos nilift yun pero matindi yung nangyaring nangyaring protesta doon. So pangalawa po yung doon sa Malay-Balay yung nagkaroon ng branding tungkol doon sa mga terorista. Ito po yung kasi yung danger nito, nakikita natin yung stereotyping at prejudice na nadanasan namin base po sa pagiging abogado ko for almost 20 years ang mga experience namin ay maraming mistaken identity. Katulad po nung Bikutan 6 si Commander Robot nandoon. 26 po yung namatay. Ang gusto po namin ay may hustisya na sila ay na-convict o na-acquit ng court, yun po yung tunay na hustisya. Hindi po sila dapat pinapatay ng gano'n na sabi ng Human Rights Commission na nag-imbestiga ay merong extreme force na ginamit. So, sa amin pong mga experience, karamihan po, pwede pong tignan po dyan data sa Bikutan, BJMP kasi lahat po ng nahuhuli doon sa Mindanao ay dito po binibiyahe sa BJMP. Kawawa naman po yung mga akusado na inosente na sila po yung nagsasuffer ng ng mga batas na hindi naman dapat sila ang hulihin. So ito po base po sa experience namin. Kami po naman sa mga moral lawyers, kami po ay kumukundina dito sa terorismo na to. In fact, kami po yung nagsasuffer. So merong Marawi siege, Marawi siege at na-destroy yung Marawi dahil doon. So kahit na na-destroy yung Marawi, ngayon, yung terorismo nandiyan pa rin, hindi rin na-solve. So yun po yung may hirap sa amin na kumbaga, yung innocenting civilian that base sa prejudice, base sa stereotyping pag Muslim, sa mga checkpoint, pag din Muslim, mga experience sila, nakakumbong, nakabelo po, ay pinag-i-strictuhan po sila at sinisita sila. Ganun po yung experience po ng mga kaya namin.
Attorney, I suppose the irony is not lost on you na ang ginagamit pong dahilan, isa sa mga primary na ginagamit na dahilan para i-justify yung anti-terror law, yung problema ng terorismo sa Mindanao. Gayon pa man, ang dami kong mga kaibigan at mga kilala na mga Muslims Mindanao na tumututol dito. At isama na rin natin pati yung BARM. At a certain point, yung BARM was calling for a veto of the anti-terror law. Bagamat ang ginagamit ng dahilan, yung terorismo na kayo nagsasuffer.
Yun nga po, okay lang naman sana kung nakikita namin sa yung mga nahuhuli ay mga talagang sila yung mga nagkasala sa batas. Pero sa aming mga kasi naging chairperson ako ng Commission on Human Rights sa ARMM, maraming mga complaint na binibigay po sa amin tungkol dyan na kinukulong, kinukuha, inaaresto dito sa Mindanao tapos binibiyahe rito sa Manila. May mga napalaya kami na pag after na mapalaya ay kakasuhan uli. May napalaya na after 1 week nakalaya siya ay hindi namin alam na patay na. May mga ganun pong mga senaryo. So kung titignan po namin yung delay ng pag-prosecute sa kanila hanggang ngayon, hindi din sila na prosecute ng maigi.